you guys? Go Petty here today in the new 2019 Toyota Corolla, courtesy of Hanover Toyota in Hanover, PA. And so I review this vehicle every single year because this is one of America's best-selling vehicles out there, of course, with the main reason probably due in part because of its stellar reliability year in and year out. But before I get ahead of myself here, as always, you guys, let's start with pricing. And so for the 2019 Corolla, there are several different trim levels available. First one being the L, that is going to start at $18,700. Then the LE for $19,135. LE Eco, which is going to start at $19,535. The XLE for $22,135. The SE, which is the one we are in today, that is going to start at $21,865. And lastly, the XSE for $22,880. But so then, regardless of trim level, the power plant is going to be the same, with the exception of slightly different power numbers on the LE Eco, but I'll get more into that in a second. Power on the 2019 Toyota Corolla is going to come from a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, putting out 132 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 128 pound-feet of torque, available at around 4,400 RPM. Power is going to be sent to the front wheels through a CVT transmission that comes standard. However, in the SE trim level, the one I am in today, there is actually a 6-speed manual option. Although I don't have that one today, kind of wish I would. I'm always interested in driving a reliable manual transmission, but I digress. MPG numbers of this one are going to come in at 28 in the city, 35 on the highway. But so then, like I was mentioning, for the LE Eco trim, same engine setup. However, power numbers are actually bumped up to 140 horsepower. Torque numbers are going to drop ever so slightly to 126 pound-feet of torque. But the main difference with that trim level with a name like the LE Eco is there is an extra eco mode on that trim level, helping you get MPG numbers at 30 in the city, 40 on the highway. But so then, before I get into any crazy accelerations in the 2019 Corolla, I first did want to mention there are a couple different drive modes available for the SE trim level and the XSE, giving you normal mode and sport mode actually. And by the way, that sport mode button is going to be located directly behind the shifter there, but when I just pressed that, it did immediately downshift, holding the RPMs at a higher level, so that is going to assist with more power on demand. When it comes to things like merging onto the highway, that may definitely be useful. The Corolla is also going to indicate that it is in sport mode using the digital display in between the gauges there. And then one more thing, with that CVT transmission option that we have today, you do actually get paddle shifters as well. So having said that, let's do a quick little acceleration in the 2019 Corolla and test out the paddle shifters as well, and let's see how quickly these things react for us here. Alright, so paddle shifters do actually react very quickly, very impressed there. However, acceleration probably isn't where I would want it to be at personally, but I will say once you get higher up in the power band, when the RPMs start to hit 5,000-ish RPMs, that is really when the power starts to kick in. So hold it in that higher power band and you're not going to have any issues. But so then, to go along with acceleration, braking is equally important. And so up front, there are 10.8-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, for the SE and XSE trim levels, you will get 10.2-inch rear discs. That is what you were looking at right now. However, if you go with one of the L trim levels, the LE, LE Eco, or XLE, all of those trim levels are going to give you 9-inch rear drum brakes. Did want to mention that because that, of course, is not going to give you quite as much stopping power as the SE trim levels. And then when it comes to handling and ride quality, there is an independent McPherson strut front suspension with the stabilizer bar. In the back, a torsion beam rear suspension with the rear stabilizer bar. And I will say, just driving through downtown Hanover back there, if anybody knows downtown Hanover roads, they know they are absolutely horrendous. But the Corolla did do a pretty nice job of soaking up the road imperfections, and I will say, driving a Civic on a daily basis, it did do better than my Civic. I know everybody likes to compare the Corolla and the Civic, so as far as ride quality goes, I'll give it to the Corolla on that one. And as far as the steering feel goes, it isn't the heaviest feel in the world. I'd actually say the Civic has a little nicer of a steering feel, but the Corolla will do just fine with its excellent reliability there. And when it comes to visibility, that is absolutely not going to be an issue. I can see perfectly fine out the back. So yeah, visibility is definitely on point. But enough with the driving dynamics, you guys. Let's check out the exterior of the new 2019 2019 Toyota Corolla. And so up front, I first did want to start by mentioning the front fascia because it will actually differentiate a little bit between the different trim levels. For instance, the SE and XSE trim levels are going to give you a more aggressive grille design as opposed to the LE trim levels. And within that front fascia, the LED daytime running lights are going to be integrated into the front bumper regardless of trim level. However, the design will differ between the trim levels with that. All trim levels, though, are going to give you bi-LED headlights. That is definitely nice. You do not find LED headlights standard on compact cars these days. Typically, it's going to be your halogen, so you will get a brighter setup with the Corolla. That's definitely nice. And then make your way to the side. Body-colored, power-adjustable side mirrors will come standard. SE trim levels are going to give you integrated turn signals as well. Looking down at the wheel setup, 15-inch steel wheels with covers come with the L and LE Eco. 16-inch steel wheels will come with the LE. You will get alloy wheels if you go with XLE, sizing up at 16 inches, and the SE and XSE are going to give you 17-inch alloy wheels, which is what you were looking at right now. Then make your way to the back. You will find trim level badging back there as well as a rear spoiler if you go with the SE or XSE trim levels. And just below it all, a single exhaust outlet, and the SE trim levels are going to give you a chrome exhaust tip. So you guys know what's coming next. Here is that exhaust clip. And so, but now, since we are around back, as far as how to open that rear hatch, there actually is a button on the key fob, so I'm just going to simply press that. And once opened up, cargo capacity is going to come in at an even 13 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there is, of course, a 60-40 split, so those rear seats will fold down, adding a ton of space if you needed it there. Make your way to the rear legroom. That is going to come in at 41.4 inches, which is actually quite impressive for rear legroom on a compact car. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there. And for those rear passengers, they will get a rear center armrest with cup holders if they go with the LE trim level and up. Then make your way to the front seats. They are manually adjustable cloth seats. That will be the standard setup. You will get a power adjustable driver's seat if you go with the XLE or XSE. Softex upholstery is going to come with the SE trim levels. That is what you're looking at right now. And if you go with the XSE, you will get heated front seats as well. And then looking forward, there is a tilt and telescoping steering wheel for all trim levels. It will come leather wrapped if you go with the SE trims, or the XLE actually will give you that leather wrapped steering wheel as well. And so, but then when it comes to the startup, let me first start by showing you guys the key here. You do have your Toyota logo on the one side, and when you flip it over, lock, unlock, and that button to pop the rear hatch. But it is actually keyless entry since I have one of the SE trim levels today, or you can get it with the XLE as well, but I am just simply going to put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button there. And but so once started up, tachometer is going to be on your left. There is a speedometer on your right and a small digital display front and center. By the way, to control what is on that digital display, there are steering wheel mounted controls on the right side of the steering wheel there. That's going to give you things like your average miles per gallon, how many miles you have left until you hit empty. There's going to be an eco indicator. You can check out your outside temperature, radio settings, safety information, when you need your next oil change, and there's a bunch of other stuff as well. But then make your way to overall interior quality. I first did want to mention the nice little touch that is the digital clock front and center just above the tech display there. Also with the SE trim levels, you're going to get blue stitching throughout to kind of tie in with the blue gauges here. So you're going to find that not only on the seats, but just above the glove box and on the doors as well. I am definitely a fan of that. I always like the small little touches like that. And there is a power sunroof available that I happen to have today as well. And there is an auxiliary port as well as a USB port just in front of the shifter there as well. But since I mentioned the tech, let's make our way to the tech. There is a 6.1 inch color touchscreen display if you go with the L, LE, or LE Eco trim levels. However, if you go with one of the SE trim levels, you will get a 7-inch high-resolution color touchscreen display. Either way, you're going to get Bluetooth and audio streaming. A factory navigation system is going to be available for the XLE and XSE. By the way, that adds an additional $525 if you were interested though, but Intune app suite actually comes with that setup, so not only will you have the factory navigation system, but you'll have the navigation system through the app suite, as well as the ability to like and dislike your Pandora songs up there. You can check out stocks, and there's a couple other apps as well. But then you can, of course, check out your radio settings as well. And by the way, all trim levels will give you a 6-speaker sound system, so let's turn on the radio and test out the clarity of this one today. Okay, so the sound system is pretty nice. Definitely very nice when it comes to clarity. Not the most bass in the world, but it will work for the Corolla. But so then last thing on that tech display, at least I wanted to mention, is when you do put the Corolla in reverse, you will have a reverse camera for every single trim level, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always going to lead me into safety. So to start, there are front, side, and side curtain airbags. Also up front, a driver's knee airbag and a passenger seat cushion airbag as well. In the back, there is latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats. Also rear child door locks back there. There also is a tire pressure monitoring system, hill start assist. They both come standard. But then Toyota actually goes above and beyond with some additional safety features that come standard on all trim levels that are typically optional with other manufacturers, including pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert with steering assist, automatic high beams, and dynamic radar cruise control. Again, they are standard across the board. That is definitely pretty nice. And so, but anyways, that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay gold.